First thing we're going to talk about is font. And one thing you really need to think about is choosing a font size that makes sense. Chances are this is too big. If you notice after you're done typing your text that the words seem crammed onto the page, try making the font a little bit smaller. And if that's still not working, then maybe you have too many words on the page, which we'll talk about later on. But definitely that's probably a little too big. This is too small. If you get done typing your text and you notice a lot of white space or extra space, try making the font a little bit bigger and spacing it a little bit differently to fill up the page. But chances are somewhere in the middle of those is probably just about right. And this is something that you can just get a second opinion on. Ask a classmate, ask a teacher, ask a parent if you're working at home, and they can give you an idea if the font size that you have chosen is right or not. Let's move on and talk a little bit about the font that you choose and how to choose one that works for your presentation. So what I'm going to do is pull out a font from behind this box. I want you to think about, would you use it in a presentation or would you not use it? Would you lose it? So I'm going to pull it out. I want you to think about it, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not you should use it or not. Chalkboard. Use it or lose it. I'm actually going to put chalkboard somewhat in the middle. Pretty good font, fairly clean, easy to read. If I was going to have to do a whole entire presentation, I might not use it just because it's not quite as clean as some of the other ones. And as we continue to pull some of these out, I'll let you know what I mean by that. Tahoma. I think Tahoma is one you can use. It's pretty clear, fairly bold, easy to read, clean lines on it. Nothing too fancy. How about Chalk Duster? Use it or lose it? I say lose it. Cool font, looks neat, but again, if I'm having to read an entire presentation, if I'm an audience member, I just don't think it's the cleanest of fonts to read. Trebuchet. Use it, lose it. I think this is one you can use. Again, clean lines, fairly bold, spaced out, easy on the eye. Helvetica. I say use it. Same qualities as the others. What about Cracked? I say lose it. Again, neat looking font, but as an audience, if I have to read that for several slides in a row, it's going to be a little tough on the eye. Times. Use it. One of the most classic fonts used for typing up papers. Arial. Again, I say use it. Papyrus. That's one I would say lose. You might want to use some of these over in the lose it category in certain situations, but not if you're going to have a lot of text with it. They can be good for things like titles or other things in papers. Zapfino, definitely lose it. A little too curvy, tough to read. Again, cool font. Might be good for like a signature or something, which is the same with most of those cursive fonts. So if you look at the ones on the right in the lose it category and those on the left in the use it, you can see that the ones on the left, they're just a lot easier to read. They're spaced out, they're nice and bold, they have clean lines on them, and that's going to be helpful for your audience and for you when you're up there. So here's your task. On the next page, you are going to see a slide that you're going to have to do a makeover on. And what you're going to have to do is keep in mind the things that we talked about, the font size and also the font choice. So you're going to have to change the size and also change the font itself to one that's a little bit easier to read for an audience. So think about those things, how you space it, the correct size, and also pick a font that's going to be easy for your audience to read. Good luck.